Yeah. Vainglorious Vanguard.
Knowledge born.
Yeah.
United Front.
Tell it.
What you want.
To the Knowledge Radio.
We in here. What you got? Dot.
Work hard as a slave to one day be your savior. The wave unwavering. This is a labor of love. Rise with a purpose every day. Invigorated. If we were on TV, we'd be 10 times syndicated. If we waited for validation, a paycheck or accolades, we'd be starved, already lost or ran away. But when you're square, solid, and your circle too, you don't need a place for silence. The concept is conquered through media, not areas of people activity. A mix that don't lose ethnicity, tightness that don't lose elasticity. Explicitly, this isn't where we give the novice regard. Nah, this is where knowledge is born. Last time that I checked, I'm undefeated. Deliver edicts, can't resist when the gods build and manifest freedom. When lines get crossed, they may push a loss, cause they get handed a check. We kick the can and cancel your cancerous gestures. A prophet vision, precision, the prescription for the sickness is to inoculate your fate with the winning. Arrogant beginnings turn to humble endings. And US with KBA is a win-win. 1K.
I'm gonna fight for the prestige, not for me, but to uplift my little brothers who are sleeping in concrete floors dead in America. Black people who are living on welfare. Black people who can't eat. Black people who don't know no knowledge of themselves. Black people who don't have no future.
We watch the rumble in the jungle. We watch the rumble in the jungle.
What's the deal, star? I seen the devil spar with the law. Mathematics was the key to set my whole race free. You might debate we, a refugee, no harm hurt me. Dying thirsty from the struggle till my own hustle bubble on the low. What was me to show the free bar right? The righteous Asiatic, take a wild shaitan rob light. Civilized like the Molly Burgundy. Wally rockin', seen the fifth when Ali clockin'. John Forte, you keep locked in.
People all around, you got to recognize and witness. Who swift enough to knock you out with mic fitness? Hands blister from holding mic tight. Some say it's fight night, but throw the R after the F, cause I'ma take away your breath. The bell rings, and now it's just a daily operation. Yo, you soft like lubrication, you can't see this occupation. No winner. And you know we hail from Q, Burrow, L. Brooks, and Custer Chambers, Proswell, promotion,
L Boogie.
With the pigskin casings, now we perfect slang like a gang of street masons. Scribe checks, make connects, true pyramid architects. Replace the last name with the X. The man's got a God complex, but take the text, change the picture. Watch Muhammad play the messenger like holy Muslim scripture. Take orders from only God, only war. When it's jihad, see Ali appears in Zaire to reconnect 400 years. So we the people, dark but equal, give love and such things to the man who made the fan. Remember when we were kings.
L Boogie.
We watch the rumble in the jungle. We watch the rumble in the jungle. We watch the rumble in the jungle. I remember when Cassius Clay flipped the script, taking trips to Zimbabwe. Africans started calling the god Ali Boumbaye. So right, it be the god-stricken, god nutrition. Lightning-stricken, don't that feel like you was poison bitten? Ha, yo, I'm about to blister you and your sister. Predicting every ass whipping before my fights, my nigga. This be your last warning once you walk right past the door. Ali informing, roll our ass until the morning. Funds and finances provided by Joseph Mobutu. Special guests of honors like the Archbishop Desmond Tutu. We watch the rumble in the jungle. We watch the rumble in the jungle. The rhymes up in the blaze up. Shooting. Yes, I can't reckon that's what
L Boogie.
Who's that? Bust round. See, I ain't dead in a long time.
Official.
Cornerstone. And now, the Cornerstone Music Meeting.
Yes. It's Friday. It's nighttime. It's Friday night fight time here on Do the Knowledge Radio. And we got a special subject tonight. Been a lot of talk. Out there. A lot of backroom conversation. So we're here to discuss it. Okay, so we having Friday night fights, but not really. This is more like an exhibition. This ain't a brawl. Ain't like I was gonna win anyway, but we got like a little brawl. not even a brawl. We got an exhibition, but it ain't an exhibition like Rocky Four. Okay, it ain't an exhibition like Rocky Four. You know, it ain't if he dies, he dies. That's what it felt like every week we get together and do this Friday night fight session. So let me bring on this African warrior who undefeated here on Friday night fights. The swordswoman that's out here. That's lethal. Okay. Man, lethal. Let's welcome with respect due our warrior soul sister. Sass, aka Sass.
Shalom, shalom. It's Sass. I'm here, and I just wanna say that I've like changed my name a little bit. So it's Shwa Open Carry Levy. So yeah, Open Carry. So that's my nickname, Open Carry.
Right.
Yeah. But we do have a special topic, and but you know what? I was gonna open with something else, but I'll save that to the end. And it was kind of like a pig, not okay. Israel. All right, I'm gonna say land back. I wanted to kind of I almost said the wrong thing. You know, excuse me, Israel. Excuse me. I want to land back off of what the general, the minister, King Samir was saying last Wednesday. So I think I'll leave that to the end because I wanted to kind of like add to that a little bit. The animosity people may be having because of some facts that he brought out, and also that song in the beginning kind of amped me up, Rumble in the Jungle and everything like that. So I mean, the issue exists. People say the issues don't exist. The issues don't exist today, but we're going to show you that the issue, though we're in modern time, oh yeah, it's not 1964, but it is 1964, So we're going to show you that in Lauryn Hill, and what inspired this was her verse, right? In that non-song. What's the song called?
Nobody.
It's called Nobody. And what are we going to do? We're going to just be focusing on, the legend herself, right? Because
the legend herself.
The legend herself and what she's actually saying. When I first heard it, we had to, huh?
My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Wait. You about to go in on Nasir? Really? Really? Oh my God! Don't.
He needed the day off. Okay, he needed the day.
I mean, it's a serious song, right? And it doesn't match. It doesn't. I agree with you.
I think when you try to be too abstract, when you try to mix the abstract like you some kind of sage, I think you should just chill. Like, I know there's nothing to talk about when you're a billionaire. I guess, you become a billionaire and then you run out of your thirst and things for life. You get caught up with the gluttonous evils, because that album is called King's Disease, and there's nothing good about the King's Disease. Nothing at all. And then to come out with a part 2. But it was refreshing because I heard the murmurs out in the street like, oh, Lauryn Hill killed it. Lauryn Hill's verse was refreshing. Lauryn Hill's verse was hip hop. Nobody said them Nas verses was anything, okay? I think it was like I made you look. I'm no longer a slave to a page in your rhyme book. You know what I'm saying? You getting big money now. Playboy, your time's up. Okay? So you need to chill a little bit. Or get back to it. You know what? I'm going to compare it to Rocky on his way to the title versus after he won the title. And he got in that ring against Clubber Lang the first time. You know what I'm saying? He got in that ring with Clubber Lang, and Clubber Lang knocked him all around the ring. So everything that Mick told him what was going to happen to you happened to him. You know what I mean? Because his success had made him docile. You know? That scene with Bane, when Bane is in the fight with Batman, Batman didn't come in there like the hungry Batman from Batman Begins. He came in there like, nobody could possibly beat me. And who is this sucker, Bane? And Bane beat the shit out of him and broke his back. You know, Mr. T beat his ass, knocked him out, and took the title. So he wasn't at the top of his game. He didn't train for that. He wasn't, he was signing autographs and doing commercials and all that shit. He wasn't punching frozen meat. He was no longer doing the things that got him to be the champion. He had to redo them all. So this is what this sounds like to me. This doesn't sound like Live at the Barbecue or anything like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it sounds like somebody who's a hermit, a hermit somewhere. It's like it's no longer. He came up in the roughest time in hip hop and set a mark in the standard in regards to lyricism, and also infusing it with knowledge. Like, that shit just sounds like, it sounds different. So this is what it sounds like hearing that. Like, okay, you full. And Lauryn Hill reminds me of the hunger. Like, she never, ever missed a day. Even though she was gone from the scene. It's there. And, he sounded dated. Like, you got everything. I don't hear it. Lauryn Hill sound like she don't got nothing. She sound like Clubber Lang. But she sound like Clubber Lang with wisdom. So, I'll just leave it like that. That's me, setting the stage and making sure that this legend gets all of the shine that she is due. This other legend became a legend now, like the Jersey Devil. Like the legend of Sleepy Hollow, What's that?
Speaking of the devil, I'll leave that to the end. That's gonna to land back off of. Well, we're gonna get to that, right? So
right.
So what you want to do? You want to go through the lyrics?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I got it. I'm chilling real quick. Because you said that. Well, before I start, you said that Nas was sounding kind of dated, right?
Yes.
I don't think he was really into. I don't think he's really into this rap thing anymore. That's how I was taking it. Like, it's just something to do, right?
Well, don't do it.
And it was something for, and I feel like Lauryn Hill has always been like felt protected by Nas, like the first interactions, the first time they were in songs together and everything like that, and this was after Fugees, and it seemed to be like you could tell like it's a good relationship in some way, right? And it only made sense to come back new, brand new, with coming in with him, because I'm looking at these lyrics, and though she's saying what she's saying, she still needed that hand, that friendship, someone to help her to come out and to do this with. To I don't know. Lauryn Hill has a lot of. I feel like she has confidence, but in a lot of ways, I felt like she was afraid to release another album or to drop something new. That's how I was feeling it. So that's why she was doing her old stuff and then doing it in a different way, and it was so different that I wasn't even feeling it. Like, I'm like, why is she performing it in this way? Like what is this about? And then I saw her style had changed and she's more covered, if that makes any sense. um and I want to also get into that as well. The modesty is just there, and and um and it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and it's I think she speaks about it a little bit, just a tiny bit over here in this in the lyrics over here. So that's interesting, right? The transformation of Lauryn Hill. It was the miseducation before. Now I feel like it's I'm calling it a mistransformation because it's I don't think it was intended. I don't think it was purposeful um for her to come this way, but it's like a she comes out to me as one who's being sheltered, who needs to be sheltered, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's great. I think that Black women should have a shelter place, somewhere where they feel safe, and at ease and things like that. I heard someone say today that um, a woman needs peace in order to raise children, you know, and they said that because it was their children. This person said that, you know, I gave my children's mothers everything so they won't have to work because I know I'm not there with them, that she has to raise her children. So I think that Lauryn Hill is at a place where she's finally getting some peace. It's just not totally there because the way she performed this, her verse is, her verses, it was very dark. It was very dark and it was straight up. It was ill. It's very ill. She in a few words like addressed everything, and did it with, I mean, with skill. It was just amazing. I'm not really I don't understand why Nas was there either, but as far as the song is concerned, but I understand why he was there. Are you getting what I'm saying? Do you understand why he was there? Um
I do. The song is called Nobody. You see what I'm
mhm.
saying? So
Mhm.
it takes on different forms. Like he's got a verse. He's got a couple of verses in there. He's got two verses. So
Mhm.
he's talking about fading away. You know, the fame, not no longer chasing and being addicted to the fame, like just being
Mhm.
able to be invisible. You see what I'm saying? And you can't, like, the game won't leave you and be have you content with that. You know, Dave Chappelle left and went to Africa, and then he came back. You see what I'm saying? So there's a seduction that's there. There's a seduction that's there. So, Michael Corleone said, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you fight with yourself with that. And then hearing what you're saying about this isn't something like he's been doing this since he was a child, 15, 16 years old. He's not there anymore. You know, he's almost 50. So you're in a different space. And now you're a billionaire. You're not there anymore. That's not you. But like I was saying at the beginning, Apollo Creed got into that ring with the Russian. They got into that ring with the Russian and he died in the fucking ring. Because he wasn't supposed to be in the ring. He came out for Rocky. He wanted Rocky. And he jumped in the ring. And he died in the ring. So sometimes you got to know when to hang up your gloves. But I know, like Apollo, he wanted to be carried out on his shield. He wanted to go out like a warrior. This is like futile, kind of. But I can understand it from the perspective, looking at it from a deeper analysis. I just wanted to hear Nas be Nas, and this wasn't Nas, but I guess this is Nas. I haven't heard Nas since it was written. I haven't heard him anymore. I heard it was like a semblance of him in Stillmatic, but there's no Nas. I don't know who this person is. I guess this is him.
This person is the outlet.
Okay.
Is this the first song that came out that was released from the album? Because if
No.
so, then he's an outlet for the wrath that was spat. Okay.
Well,
Okay, like
there's nostalgia to this. You know, there's nostalgia. King's Disease, the first one, he's on the song with Cormega after their tumultuous history. Like the firm is together. Foxy, AZ, the original firm that was on, it was written with a Dre beat in the background. You know, so it was like affirmative action part two. You see what I'm saying? After so many years in between. So there's a nostalgia and there's some experimentation that's there and all that. You know, but if I could be honest, I don't want to hear none of that shit. Okay? I don't want to hear none of that shit. Okay? I don't want to hear that. I want to, I want to hear this. But if that's what he's doing, that creative outlet thing, that's what it is. Giving artists opportunities and bringing people back and all that. I can't be upset with that. I can say I don't like it though. I can say I don't fucking hear it.
Listen, I don't think Lauryn Hill's trying to drop an album or even a record of her own. I really don't. She can do that at any time.
I can see this, yeah. I heard y'all talking shit.
Mm-hmm.
So let me beat y'all ass with eloquently beat you motherfuckers ass and don't leave nobody out. And then go back to my throne. Like
she could put records out and sell them on her own, and she's guaranteed. She's guaranteed to make millions and millions, but she's stopping herself. Why is that? I know we had tons of conversations about this. It's reasons to her madness, right? So yeah. And I think that Nas is taking a risk. He's taking a risk. Kind of doing this, but it's not too much of a risk because he put his own album out and he's just featuring her, so it doesn't look shady to the in Caucasian thought. But I'm gonna read these lyrics and you stop me where you want to stop. Okay?
Stop.
All right, so
stop.
Okay, so she says, all my time has been focused on my freedom now. Why would I join him when I know that I can beat him now? They put their words on me and they can eat them now. That's probably why they keep on telling me I'm needed now.
That's a whole section right there. A whole section.
Yeah. Look, it's obvious that the game needs real lyricists. I'm just saying, especially from the women. I mean, we talked about this. The ones with skills, they're not here anymore.
Right.
Nicki Minaj has no skills. I'm sorry.
Right.
There's no. That's fluff. It's entertainment. It's Rumble in the Jungle. We paid in the, at first. Nikki can't do nothing like that. It's no. I'm gonna keep reading. It says they tried to box me out while taking what they want from me. I spent too many years living too uncomfortably, making room for people who didn't like the labor or wanted the spoils, greedy, selfish behavior. Now that's a shot at Wyclef, don't you think?
Yeah, and everybody else.
I think it was him mostly.
Well, she had already burnt up Wyclef a long time ago with Lost One.
You think she finished? It started with him.
I think she got more reflective on her choices. Like, there's shots being thrown, there's daggers out there, but it's more self-reflective. Living up to and trying to meet everybody else's expectations instead of her doing things on her own time and in her own way.
Look, I'm not giving this devil no credit. It's not about this devil. It's not. These lyrics are not about this devil. This is about people that look like her. It's obvious I'm looking at it and I'm like,
but I'm still talking about her decisions, her choices, her reflecting on her own choices, things she did versus things she don't have to do, because she starts talking about that also. So it's
right.
like, okay, I mean, I made some mistakes, is what she's saying. Like, yo, I made some mistakes, but I learned from them. You're not going to catch me there again. Because it's back to the
Right.
song, Nobody. You see what I'm saying? And then when people don't see you, no matter how famous you were, you become a nobody to the people who don't see you.
So
You see
basically
what I'm saying?
you're saying that she's saying my bad for being a pushover. That's not, I made that mistake. I'm not saying that. I see her saying that people were taking advantage of me.
Yes.
I was being used. They were you know what I'm saying?
That's the same thing.
Like I'm out here doing my craft,
Yeah.
and people are just stealing from me. I mean, every way,
Yes.
shape,
Yes.
form, fashion, right? Because it's
Yes.
emotional. Because she starts out saying, "Focus on my freedom."
Yes.
She's saying that she wasn't free.
Right.
She was on hold. You know what I'm saying? She was taken hold of.
Right.
Right. So that's how. Yeah. Oh yeah. Allowing people to take advantage of you is a no. So I hear what you're saying.
Remember in Lost Ones, the first line was, "It's funny how money changes situation. Miscommunication leads to confrontation." So that was really, at Wyclef. I was on the Humble. You was on every station. You see what I'm saying? Like, some trying to play young Lauryn like she dumb. Like, all of that. Like, so this is all of this coming back, and then it's a reloaded version. Okay, it's not just him. It's every fucking body in that whole sphere. You see what I'm saying? Like, Rohan, everybody, all that. You see what I'm saying? But the most important part of it is she is seeing her part in it. She's seeing her part in it and learning from it and sharing what she learned in it at the same time.
Plot twist. Take on the plot twist.
Okay.
Now let me give it to you balanced and with clarity. I don't need to turn myself into a parody. I don't. I don't do the shit you do for popularity. They clearly didn't understand when I said I get out, apparently. My awareness, like
Wait,
Keanu in The Matrix.
wait. We can't wait. Hey, that was too much right there. Right there, right there. Read them couple lines again. Don't go to the Matrix line. What was that?
Now let me give it to you, balancing with clarity.
Yes.
I don't need to turn myself into a
Look at that
parrot.
transition in between.
Right,
That
right. That's what I
transition
said.
in
Plot
between is
twist.
like, all
Plot
right,
twist.
boom. This happened. Okay. All right. Now the kid gloves is coming off. I'm about to beat your ass. I'm about to beat your ass. You remember Cottonmouth? Oh, buddy spit on him. He's like, good. Now I can hit you like a man.
Yes.
Yeah. This is what happens right here now. Balanced and with clarity. So, you know, they want to be painting our sisters with this paintbrush. Oh, they just overly emotional and oh, who hurt you and all this old none of that shit. Like, now I'm about to whoop your fucking ass in this way. You're gonna be begging for some emotionality now. So, okay. She said balancing with clarity. What's the next line?
I don't need to turn myself into a parody.
I don't have to do this shit that you're doing. This
She's
is
not
what
turning
you're
herself into a
doing.
freak show. Yeah.
Yeah. None of
Bunch
this.
of freak shows out there right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm not. So now it's like, don't you ever compare. Like, don't ever. There's no new version of me, but me. I don't need to. This is the declarative statement with an exclamation at the end. You know what I mean? I don't need to. So in order to be in that space, you shouldn't need to either. If you are who you say you are. So what's the next line?
I don't do this shit you do for popularity.
Even worse than the parody, because the parody you could be like, oh, it was just a joke. No, now popularity is saying you really want this, you need this attention right here. So, you know, from the jackass shit to the I'm not assured enough within myself that I need this type of attention. No matter what it is, I need it.
She said I don't need to turn. I don't like
Yes.
she doesn't need, she doesn't, because she's Lauryn Hill.
Right. Right. So
She
this is
she
in
really doesn't.
comparison. Yeah. Right. So when all of the parody people seen her, they bowed.
Brick City, stand up. Stand all the way up. Like, modesty is in. Okay?
So what's the next line?
They clearly didn't understand when I said, and this is quotations, I get out, apparently. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Were they trying to put her under a spell? Was she I'm getting this trapping type of vibe here. Like, she's saying that she was trapped. She was, you know what I'm saying? She was taken hold of. She was not, and she starts off with freedom. Okay. So she was a slave to this industry and the people in it. And what Malcolm says is that they'll send in the ones that look like you to make these deals, to make you get to, to do these things or whatever. So this is what I'm saying. Like, and the people she has around her were all black people, because she is pro-black. She is, you never see her like running around too much outside of what she knows. So she was dealing with a lot of enemies. This is what I'm getting from the art. This is what I'm pulling. Yes. This is what I'm pulling. All right, I'm about to hit that Keanu line there. You're gonna have to go in on that one, because and tie it all together, because he My awareness, like Keanu in the Matrix. So when she got out of it, she became aware of who she was. Like the end of part 1 of the Matrix, right? He finally understood. Did he not? He kind of understood what was going on, right? And who he was and what his purpose was, right?
What had to happen?
He had to die.
Yes. And then what?
And come back alive.
Yes.
He had to
So
die. His old self was gone. He had removed and unplugged himself from the Matrix. That's what it looked like to me. Because he was
yes,
able to
he was
outdo the
warned.
Matrix.
Right. He was warned. He was warned.
Part 2, he said, "Oh, upgrades." You
Right.
know, like
So what he said, what she said, what the oracle said to him was, "I'm sorry, but it looks like you're waiting for something." He said, "What? Your next life, maybe. Who knows?" Because he didn't know. This is why she was saying to the thing, "Man, know thyself." So he was a worthy sacrifice who was a sacrifice twice. He was a sacrifice almost 3 times, but he didn't die 3 times. He died twice. So she's saying for everything that was supposed to have mattered, that she thought mattered, where her priorities was, where her mind was, what she was focusing on, didn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things now that she sees this now. Everything that she suffered for and suffered from was not what was there. So that part of her had to die and she had to be reborn. So it's more like a phoenix rising from the ashes, more so than the Keanu in the Matrix. But it's akin too at the same time. Because now you can see the code, because there's a code that exists. You know, Cypher knew the code. He's like, "You can read this?" He was like, "Yeah, blonde, brunette, da da da, this. He understood the code. So he was there saying, "Yo, nah, don't even get your hopes up." Everybody falls the first time because he had seen so much shit happen before. It's like it didn't mean nothing. He's like, "Oh, okay, the only way I can profit from this is to be reinserted into a new body with the same mind." So he could go take over some shit. So this renewed perception or look or mindset and this focus is there. It's a reawakening, you know. So she's looking at what matters now versus what did matter. And she's moving like that. Like Morpheus looked at him and said, "He is the one."
I'm
Oh,
saving
yeah.
souls and y'all complaining about my lateness.
Right. Right.
Now it's illegal for someone to walk in greatness. So
So
now she's out of the Matrix,
yes.
understanding who she is because she holds a lot of power. She I think she's always believed this, but I think, she's going through a lot
Dorothy.
of stuff, right? Going through a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Dorothy had to go see the Wiz
Mhm.
in order to find what she already had.
Mhm. Mhm.
And she needed some external help along the way back to herself. So yeah.
Greatest female rapper always comes up first is Lauryn Hill. She just does. I mean, if not what first, maybe the second or third. Some always in the top 3
Right.
always. So yes. So she's like, y'all talking about how late I am and everything like that. This is what's being spoken of me in the press. It's negative. It's negative. I'm over here trying to save myself and, bring myself back and, you know, grasp my sanity, because it was obvious that something was wrong, with her. From the look to the way she was sounding. At one point she couldn't sing anymore. Right? So yeah, like she's upset with those people too, in the media and all those, all of that. And probably people in her family too.
There's a line in Antoine Fisher where he goes to confront Miss Tate in the movie. And he said, no matter what you did, you couldn't destroy me. This is a direct quote from the guy who the movie was made about, who wrote the book, Finding Fish. So he said he was trembling listening to Derek Luke say the words that he said to his foster mother. I'm still here. I'm still strong. He said, no. She said, let me tell you something. No, you don't talk. It's my time. So this is word for word. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of mind, when you got it, it's there. So this is this conversation. We know what kind of abuse, emotional, physical, psychological abuse, the betrayal, all of the things that she underwent. And she's still here. That leads to another thing, but
what do you make of this? Let me repeat this. Okay, so here we go. 2 lines here. Now it's illegal for someone to walk in greatness. They want the same shit, but they don't take risks. Who is she talking about here? They want the same type of greatness, but they don't want to take risks.
The critics. Again, it's back to the nobody. Like, who is she? Oh, she's a nobody. Oh, she only had one album. People will relegate you and castigate you. So people are like, oh, this one album was a classic, and people say, well, it's only one album. What's the rest of her stuff? Like, who is she really? Oh, she's a nobody. Oh, she was somebody back in the day.
No. Yeah, I
You hear what I'm saying?
Of the song. Yeah, I get the title of the song. Maybe they were saying that ish, but come on, the
but
hood. No,
this it goes hand in hand. So all you can do now, when you want to know about somebody, is what? Go look it up. So you go Google. What do you find? You see what I'm saying? This is what you find.
Everything is negative about Lauryn Hill. She did try to defend herself at one point. She did.
Right.
I don't know if it was to Rolling Stone. I can't remember what it was. I couldn't find it, but I remember reading it. She was talking about, to the effect of, who was doing what and what she was going through, and everyone's after her. They want her to take the clothes off. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they exploit her and everything like that. Now she's covered up, like, this. No, absolutely not. I'm gonna cover up some more because I've never seen Lauryn Hill this covered up ever. Like, this is a whole different vibe here, a whole different look, style, like how a lady should look, right? So, a black woman, how a black woman should look. She took it back, to the way things should be, right? So I like that. She's in this picture here. She's got pearls.
Right.
Some black women still wear pearls. Pearls is just not the thing. It's old. It's dated. And nobody's really dealing with pearls. My mom wore pearls in the 80s, and I would dress up in her pearls. You know, I have a string of pearls. I do. I do. I have them. And it just it kind of tells what type of woman you are. Dressed like that and you have pearls. Like this is greatness. This is something different. This is not sleaze. This is not nasty. This is not pornographic. This is something different. You know, I want to be respected and I'm going to be respected, you know? And her talent is like that's all she needs. My talent speaks for itself. That's it. There's nothing more to be said. So when she says that greatness, I think that's good. People are not accepting of the greatness because she's going back to the part where she talks about the parody and the popularity. It's like, okay, Lauren, you have to move to the times and we'll let you back in, right? You got to start doing what we want you to do, how it's looking right now. It's just interesting how all the female rappers are looking the same, doing the same things. It's straight up strip club, okay? Even to Beyonce, and I'm gonna say it, strip club, straight up strip club. So this is what they're wanting out of the sisters. And Laura says, "Hell to the no, it's not happening. I'm not a parody. I'm not doing anything for popularity, and I'm great. You know, I'm great, and all you can complain about is my lateness, right?" So yeah, she's doing mad shade. She's talking that ish. I love it. It's bold. It's perfect. It's so perfect. Like I love it. I mean, this hits hard when you listen to it. Like I had to bring it back to the beginning. Like hold on, wait. She couldn't get a quarter out, starting off. Bring it back, start it over. Because like, oh my god, like this is crazy, right? So I'm like, is she back? Is she back? Because this is what we've been wanting, you know. And you know, same thing with, you know, Rod Digger talked about it too. And that song, This Ain't No Little Kid Rap, you know, she's talking about how they're telling her they want her back, but she's not down with the conditions, you know. She's not down with what they want, so she's just would rather stay out of it, right?
Yep. So what's the next one?
The next one is, now the world will get to see its own reflection, and the anointed can pursue their own direction.
Yes.
And if you're wrong, and
Wait.
okay, all right. What struck you?
read, read that line again.
Now the world will get to see its own reflection, and the anointed can pursue their own direction.
So this reflection right here, this artificial,
nasty, yes,
right, this perverse artificial thing, you know, the Bible talks about deceive the very elect, right?
Yes,
so,
yes.
So that point right there,
right.
And then those who are anointed, those who are keeping with the law. What was I reading today? Proverbs chapter 4?
Yes.
Yeah, I read the whole chapter.
Yes.
Because it was talking about wisdom, you know, this conversation, like all the way through, this wisdom, this mother giving instructions to the son. You know, like this was a beautiful conversation and showing you, you know, transgressors and how they walk and they talk, describing their behavior and mentality and all of that. So holding fast to this wisdom and likening wisdom to a woman, like she will. So when you find this is how it will be when you acquire or obtain wisdom. This is what it looks like versus when you're not dealing wisely with yourself. You know what I'm saying? So this reflection. So the world can only now, through this, the world will be able to see itself for what it really is and not for what it appears to be. And back to that matrix part, it had stopped, right? It had stopped at the end of Matrix 1. It stopped. And Neo is on the phone booth and he's telling you, I'm going to show you what they don't want you to see, blah, blah, blah. And he said, we're going to create our own rules, blah, 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 this, no controls. And he flies away at the end. So this anointed part is not a way that's new. It's a way to return, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. It's a returning back to proper order, not a new way where everybody's just going the way, wherever way they wanted to go. This is how the shit got twisted in the first place. So it's a restoration. This old thing being destroyed and reestablishing. This is the new that's there. It's old, but it's new.
Yeah, it was definitely spiritual war. It was a spiritual war going on.
Yes.
Definitely.
What was the next line?
And if you're wrong and you're too proud to hear correction, Laura always been in the book, so this is nothing new to me. I mean, yeah, she's a reflection of the book, totally. And it says, "Walk into the hole you dug yourself. Fuck a projection. And if you're wrong and you're too proud to hear correction, walk into the hole you dug yourself.
This is
like a projection." So, oh man, yeah.
Right back to it.
Right back to it, yeah.
Right back to it.
All y'all want to talk about is my lateness and me being disagreeable and all this other stuff, and I'm this and I'm that. No, that's you. That's what she's saying. That's y'all. It's not me. It's definitely not me, because y'all. So
she's showing you. Look at the grace of it, though.
Yes.
She said that, and she's giving you a way out. And you see this reflection. In this reflection, if you're fucked up, you can change it.
And she look, Lauryn don't use that F word like that. She added that so the ignorant people can hear her, right? Yeah. Okay. She did that purposely. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Even after all my logic and my theory, I had a motherfucker. Ignorant niggas here.
So I thought that was, she brought herself back, she put a little of her old self in there,
Yeah, all together. Yeah, all together. I don't get it twisted.
Right.
Yeah. I'm still from Newark, son.
That's right.
So.
See me in my freedom, taking all my land back. She teaching right now. She teaching. Black nationalism philosophy right here. They sent a lot against me, thinking I just stand back. So what did she do? This was a spiritual war. This is bloodshed here. She's fighting. She had to fight. What else? If you want your freedom, what do you have to do? This is a teaching moment.
You got to vote?
A teaching moment. They sent a lot against me, thinking I just stand back. I got my legs beneath me. I got my hands back. A lot of people sabotage. They couldn't stand that. I turned the other cheek. Mm-mm-mm. I took blow after blow. This is a teaching moment. There's so much crisis in the world because you reap what you sow. When you keep what you know is meant for someone else, the ditch you dig for them, you might just end up in yourself. Want to add anything there before I keep going?
I remember in Luke Cage, Anansi was talking to my boy. He was talking to my boy. And he told him, he said, for a man to seek vengeance, he must dig 2 graves. One for the man and one for himself. So it's still a reflection. You see what I'm saying? It's still a reflection. So it's still like I'm speaking outwardly and inwardly at the same time. So there was an internal fight to prepare for the external fight. There was an internal war in a space of self-mastery within her
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
prepared her for this battle. The external
Mm-hmm.
battle was nothing. The internal
Mm-hmm.
battle was everything. Because
Mm-hmm.
she was prepared, you know. She got her feet. You see what I'm saying? She got that firm footing. You know, when you ready to take a motherfucker out of here, you know, you gotta have you gotta be on a solid foundation. So she's still
Right.
strong. She
Mm-hmm.
went back to those spaces and those places and those traditions where she was most powerful. She's talking about it. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? She's talking about it. Some things don't work. Everything don't work for everybody. You have to go for your foundation. So she returned to her foundation and begin that work within. She did that work within. So that work without was minuscule, you know. So this is her moving. She got her hands back. You know what I'm saying? Like she got her hands back, you know?
Right.
We know what them hands mean. You know, we know when somebody say, hey, you know, you catch these hands, we understand what that means. So these are hands that can kill, but also hands that can heal. So it's both sides of the same coin. So these healing hands that healed her can kill those who come against her. You see what I'm saying? So that's a fight. That's a real fight.
Definitely warrior spirit. See me in my freedom, taking all of my land back. Now, that in itself, right? That I mean, if you don't understand what that is, you gotta,
Yeah, that's a bunch
you
of
gotta look into,
conversations.
yeah, like
That's a bunch
some
of
people don't
conversations.
understand what that means, but
She
that
left
that
she
that's a
left
deep. That's
enough out there as an
mhm,
artist for
mhm,
you to pick up what that means to you.
mhm,
She's telling you what she did, not what you need to do. You do what you need to do. She's telling you
mhm.
what she did. So
To
you
get
can
her
take from
freedom,
that, right?
right?
Yeah.
Mhm. That's
You
right.
can take that how you need to do what you need to do. So yeah. What was the next line? Oh, you had something else. You was about to say something.
I'm in the secret place. I keep a sacred space. Go ahead and say it. This whole verse is It's straight up math. It is. She's brilliant. She's a genius. She just is. And I heard like and this is weird because every time I have to talk about something in the day has happened, or I heard something and it relates to this. It says geniuses always have like that quirk or something, like it could be off, it could be outlandish, it could be, they could be dealing with something or whatever, but it just always comes out, and it changes the world. Like they used I don't like using this example, but just because everybody knows Albert Einstein, we'll just leave it at that.
I just knew that. No.
I'll just say that. No. I'll just say that.
Yeah, we just use Lauryn Hill. That's fine. We're good. That's our genius.
Right, but just for teaching purposes, they say that. But I don't want to say. But we're not crazy.
We good. We good. We can keep on going.
Okay. All right. Let me do another one. Let me do another one.
Do another.
A great one. This is a great one, and I hope everybody knows. George Washington Carver.
There we go. All right. Yes.
Everybody knows John, because a lot of people don't know George Washington Carver.
You
They
hear
said
the crowd?
he was the same way.
You hear the crowd?
The crowd of knowledge
Yes,
one a lot.
They're applauding. Yes.
They said that he was the same way because he was dealing with a lot of trauma. And if you know his story, he dealt with a lot of trauma, and he had to get through that. And it impaired him. It really impaired him, but he was still able to excel. Yes. Genius, right? Genius. Straight genius. And that's what they're saying. In order to become a genius, you have to be going through something. You have to go through something, and that's just the pattern that you see. They've gone through something that's out of this world to bring them, and it brings them wisdom, and it brings them focus, and in order to become free and say that I'm free, or I'm working. She said I'm working on my freedom. I'm focusing on it. That takes a lot, especially when you're going through something, to try to move yourself out of certain situations. It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do. You got your mind be like playing tricks on you. You suffer from panic attacks and anxiety and all these things, but it's just, it's there. So yeah. Okay. George Washington Carver, shout out.
Shout out.
All right. So we're getting towards the end. It says they keep showing their hands, but keep hiding their face. If I'm a messenger, you block me, then you block the message. So aggressive. The world you made is what you left with. It's what you're left with. Pride and ego over love and truth is fucking reckless. Y'all niggas got a death wish. The stupid leaves me breathless. Did I not tell you she's talking about her own kind? I'm telling you, like, this is deep. She was very unprotected. This was bad for her, what she went through. And then, like, of course, her daughter co-signs that, even though the daughter's talking about her own trauma, but then she's coming out with a story telling you what her mother's trauma was, and what she was going to. So she co-signs that. It makes sense now. Like it kind of brings it full circle, And then you see her father, that's what Rohan Marley, he's over there trying to make amends, posting pictures of his kids, you know what I'm saying? And trying to bring love, right? Trying to show the love or whatever, try to show that, I guess trying to make up for things, right? After the daughter comes out and says these things, because, the daughter's talking about their relationship, her parents' relationship, and how that was just awful, right? So yeah, it's a whole mesh of things, I believe. I think it was everything. She's tired of the BS, right? And it's time to kind of like focus on herself too. You know, it's not easy being like a single mom either with all the children, right?
Yep.
So is she back or not?
No. I think it's a wrap.
That's it, right? She's had it with. She doesn't want this industry. She doesn't want it. So this was like a mic drop moment, you know, for her. It's dope because that's all everybody's talking about is just her verse. We don't know what the hell Nas is doing, and I don't know. I'm like, I couldn't even follow along. I said, what is he talking about? Come on now.
I watched that movie Queen and Slim. And at the end of Queen and Slim, as the credits are rolling up, the first voice you hear is Lauryn Hill.
Really? I didn't see it.
I mean, you didn't miss nothing. You didn't miss
Okay.
nothing
Okay.
at all. At all. Like, at all.
Okay.
But there was some semblance of some of the movies that was great as black movies. There was some semblance from a couple of movies that were great. And I would only know talking to the director because I saw, like, you know, when people try to do stuff, I don't know if they know what they're doing until they come up to somebody who gets what they were looking to do. So if I was to talk to her or if I was to talk to Lauren and explain, they'd be like, you got it. Or you fucking stupid. You didn't get anything I was trying to do. So it'd be one or the other. But the fact is it would happen, you know? Because you could see certain stuff. I'm like, okay, was that Love Jones? This part right here. Was that Set It Off? That part right there. What was this? What was that? Was that Jason's lyric? You know, that kind of thing to have your mind look. And maybe I just seen all those movies, and because I seen all those movies, I seen this similarity here. You know? So that kind of conversation to have and to know, like at the end of that movie, I heard Lauren, and then this album, I didn't want to hear it at all. I heard she was there. So she was there. She was there with a particular message. She had a message. Just like at the end of that movie, she had a message. The song was called Black Rage. She had a message. Here, she had a message. So, to your question, is she back? I say no. Then I add the comma, unless she has a message. Because there's a lot of other messages in that verse. If you don't have that anointing that she said, you won't extrapolate.
Can we talk about how that shade she threw at Jesus real quick? I was just saying. Matthew chapter 5. Can we just talk about that for a moment? Oh man, nobody's rocking with that turn the other cheek stuff. Okay.
She turned
Nobody.
another cheek. Turned a
Yeah,
whole
no.
nother cheek.
Nobody is dealing with that. Thank you, Lauren, for that. That was gold. Straight up. That was awesome.
Awesome. And it only took an hour. Look, you did good.
That's real good. I know, right? Isn't that crazy? That is awesome. That's a record. That's a record.
But it only took an hour.
I think that's good. That's
You
great.
said there was something that you wanted to land back or add on to what the general said.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm looking for I'm looking for it. Okay. But I got it. I just want to read something real quick because he was expressing how people left out certain things when it comes to black liberation and people calling themselves revolutionary and talking about black independence and things. So I just wanted to read this really quick. It's not my words, but I'll tell you whose words it is at the end. If some people may figure this out. So it says, when this country here was first being founded, there were 13 colonies. The whites were colonized. They were fed up with this taxation without representation. So some of them stood up and said, liberty or death. Though I went to a white school over here in Mason, Michigan, the white man made the mistake of letting me read his history books. He made the mistake of teaching me that Patrick Henry was a patriot and George Washington wasn't nothing nonviolent about old Pat or George Washington. Liberty or death was brought about the freedom of whites in this country from the English. They didn't care about the odds. Why they faced the wrath of the entire British Empire. And in those days, they used to say that the British Empire was so vast and so powerful when the sun would never set on them. This is how big it was. Yet these 13 little scrawny states, tired of taxation without representation, tired of being exploited and oppressed and degraded, told that big British Empire, liberty or death. I don't want to close it. After the 1954 Supreme Court desegregation decision, the same thing happened when our people tried to integrate the schools. All the white students disappeared into the suburbs. Now, the caliber of what our people thought was to be an integrated school has fallen to the same level of the slum school from which we thought we had escaped. Just as efforts to integrate housing failed miserably, efforts to integrate schools have been even more miserable failure. Having failed to get integrated housing and failed to get integrated schools, now the Negro leaders are demanding integrated jobs. That is, they are demanding a certain quota or percentage of white people's jobs. First, the Negro leadership demanded the white man's house, and the whites vacated their rundown houses for us and built new homes for themselves out in the suburbs. Then the Negro leaders demanded seals for our children in the white man's schools. The whites evacuated the schools as our children moved in and they built modern schools for themselves in the suburbs. But now the Negro leadership is demanding the white man's job. Can the whites vacate their jobs like they did their homes and their schools and move into the suburbs and create more jobs? No, not without violence and bloodshed. So I'm reading. I don't see how, and this is one revolutionary, right? Calls himself a black nationalist. That's what he is. That's just one. They all echo and say the same things. I'm not sure how the people that King Samir was talking about left that out. There's nothing but liberty or death. Bloodshed. It says it right here. It tells you what you have to do to get your freedom. And that's that. So that was the great Malcolm X, right?
So Hajj Malik El Shabazz,
That's
brother
right,
Omar
El
Wally,
Hajj, right.
affectionately known to the world. Mr. Malcolm.
That's right. And let me find it because.
And if you don't know it, then you suspect.
Now, I heard somebody speaking about a devil named Paul Harvey. He made, I don't know if he was being facetious, he was trying to be funny or something. It's annoying, but he made something called If I Were the Devil in 1964. I think black people should read it, right? Now, at the same time when he was saying this ish in 1964, this is what Malcolm X was saying. He said, anytime you live in the 20th century, 1964, and you're walking around here singing, "We shall overcome," the government has failed us. This is part of what's wrong with you. You do too much singing. Today, it's time to stop singing and start swinging. You can't sing up on freedom, but you can swing up on some freedom. Cassius Clay can sing, but singing didn't help him to become the heavyweight champion of the world. Swinging helped him become the heavyweight champion. Okay, so he's using some analogies here, some examples. You know what I'm saying? Some logic here, right? So I think it was about a couple of months ago, the Congressional Black Caucus was up there with like the Speaker of the House, that white devil, right? Because she's a straight up white devil. She is. They're up there singing on Capitol Hill, "We shall overcome." With silly black people up there singing it with them. Is today. He was talking about in 1964. She was getting on them in 1964. We're today in 2021. And we're still singing. So I don't know. King Samir is correct. He's totally correct. And he was right for getting on who he needed to get on, because that is just unacceptable. You're teaching the black community. You're teaching your own people and you're teaching them wrong. You're leaving stuff out. You're redacting. You know what I'm saying? You're leaving common sense out. You're leaving logic out. You're leaving out black philosophy, black nationalist philosophy. He says, this is a philosophy that eliminates the necessity for division and argument. Because if you are black, you should be thinking black. And if you are black and you're not thinking black at this late date, well, I'm so sorry for you. That's what he said. It's sad. He says, we suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation, all of them from the same enemy. So if someone's your enemy and you don't want them to be your enemy anymore, what do you have to do? You can't leave that stuff out. Now, Lauryn Hill said that she was taking the land back. To her, taking her land back is freedom. When I read it, I immediately thought of one of our guerrilla warriors. He's specifically called a guerrilla warrior, revolutionary. And that's President Mugabe, right? He went into Rhodesia, took all the land back. And what had to happen? Bloodshed. White thought demonizes him today. But for 40 years, Zimbabwe was free and thriving. Today, not so much. Why? Because they got rid of the person. He died. They say he died. To me, everything, I don't believe that stuff. But it's I would think they took his life. Not only took his life, but they took the land from him and those people. And today it's in ruin. It's in straight up ruin, just like South Africa is today. So if you're not willing to acknowledge that you have the enemy, that you have an enemy and who the enemy is, you'll never be free. You can't complain. Malcolm X says you can't complain. You can't say anything. You can't ask for anything. He says that you're a second class citizen. That's a slave. Essentially, that's a slave. That's it. There's nothing for you. When you got to go begging first class for things, you're not going. You're not going anywhere. So I just wanted to just land back off of that a little bit, because obviously he had a point and it made sense. We have to teach it all, and we have to have the courage to teach it all. When you got devils out here on the scholarly level and in their scholarly conversations telling you, having the courage to tell you how their forefathers did it. We need to we need to tell our people how our forefathers did it, how our ancestors did it, and it was not too long ago. It just wasn't. I don't know why we had a problem with that, but it's annoying. It's very annoying. So it bothers me as well, you know. And yeah, and that's what I wanted to say about that.
That's right.
So as you can see, right, like the connection, I call it the black connection. It's a deep spiritual connection, right? All of these,
100,
these subjects, right? Stuff we're talking
101 years of the red, black, and green. 101 years today. Yeah. Pan African liberation flag that has been desolated, that has been degraded, that has been reduced, that has been misused, that has been inundated with conduct unbecoming by these drug pushers, by these drug addicts, by these immoral, repudiated devil's advocates in word, in deed, in behavior, in thought, in actualization, on violation. You are not allowed to desecrate a flag of any nation without severe penalty. All of these drug addicts with our flag of liberation in one hand and drugs in the other, or immoral, perverse, and savage lifestyles with men, women, and children outside of our race and our people. retribution is coming. So in the spirit of this great legend, Lauryn Hill, take heed to the words and correct your actions or suffer the fucking consequences as they come. So that was just my caveat for Friday the 13th.
Devil's Day. Good Lord.
If correctness and order and reestablishing things in decency and order, that's devilish to some. That's devilish to some.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Walking in greatness is just, you know, they demonize that too. Yeah. That's breaking the law or something. Yeah.
Did you have anything else?
I'm done. I'm done.
You done, Shine? Is you done?
Son, I'm done. And once again, Brick City stand up. And I think that's it. So, you know, shout out to Lauryn Hill. That was like that verse was great. It was great. I mean, it was very deep. It had a lot of math in there. It had a lot of great philosophy and wisdom in there as well. Teaching moments. It was great. I mean, it was great. It was straight up. It was serious. Okay.
Serious.
It was serious. I mean, she was monotone. She, you know, she laid it down, and she said what she had to say, and that was it. Enough. Mic drop at the end, and that's it. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And Shabbat Shalom in the morning.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get back to the
motive is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.